morning, class. How is everyone feeling today?
Good morning.
Very good, thank you.
That's great. So today we're gonna look at data tables, and how to read them, and using that data to plot a graph and to visualize our trends. So is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So the first thing that we got to do when we look at data tables is to look at the two variables that we have here. And the first one we're going to look at is the variable of time. And we see here that time is in the unit of seconds. And we see in this table that time is increasing in 1 second increments. And time we typically call an independent variable. Is anyone familiar with that term? Yeah?
Yes, it's independent of the outcome.
Exactly. Time changes by itself. It doesn't rely on another variable for it to change. However, we have another variable which is distance, and we see here that it's in the unit of meters. And we see in the table that the distance is increasing in 10 meters per second. And we see here that distance relies on time for it to change. That type of variable, do you guys know what we call that? Yeah?
A dependent variable.
A dependent variable, exactly, because distance relies on time for it to change. You guys understand that?
Yes.
Alright, perfect. So using this data that we have here, we could take these variables and plot them on the graph right here. See here that we have time versus distance. It's very important to have your title on a graph.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that we got to do when it comes to plotting our points on a graph is to label our axes. So we have here an x-axis, which is this horizontal line right here. And then we have the y-axis, which is this vertical line right here. And on the x-axis, that's where we put the independent variable. So using the information we talked about on the table, which variable are we going to put here?
Time.
Time, exactly. So we're going to label time in seconds right here below the numbers on this axis.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we're going to do that. And then on the y-axis, that's where we put the dependent variable. So which variable is going to go there?
Distance.
Distance, exactly. So we're going to put distance in meters. See here? So we have the variable and the unit right next to it. Understand?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. So with this information, we can take the data from this table and plot it on the graph right here. So the first thing we got to do is to look at the first data point, which is 0 seconds and 0 meters. And we find here that on the x-axis we find 0, and we find on the y-axis 0 is in the exact same spot. So our first point is going to be right at the bottom right here. And then for our second point, we're gonna find that our time is at 1 second, which is at this point on the x-axis, and then we find that our value for the y-axis is at 10 right here. So we're gonna match these 2 points, and we're gonna put another dot right there on the graph. You guys see?
Yep.
So with those 2 examples, who would like to come up to the board and plot the rest of these points right here? Patrick? All right, perfect. Perfect, great job, Patrick. So we see here that our trend is going up. In order to really visualize this, we're going to connect the dots, really visualizing our trend, giving us a straight line that goes up. And this shows a positive relationship, which means that as time increases, distance also increases. But it also shows a linear relationship, which shows that time and distance increase at a constant rate, and it doesn't change at all. So you guys understand that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so with this stuff, it's quite tricky to remember sometimes. So we got here a little jingle for you guys to remember in order to, you got a little jingle here for you guys to remember in order for you guys to remember this material. So you guys ready?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna start with a beat like this, and repeat after me, okay? Gather data, put in a table.
Gather data, put in a table.
Look at axes, make sure they're labeled.
Look at axes, make sure they're labeled.
Choose a scale, make it clear.
Choose a scale, make it clear.
Plot the points that fits it best.
Draw a line that fits it best.
Create a tile that will impress.
Create a tile that will impress.
Now you're ready to show your graph
Now you're ready to show your graph
to your friends who admire your craft.
to your friends who admire your craft.
Alright, good job everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.